Okay, so today's dish is the oxtail soup, okay? A lot of friends have asked me to share the recipe and the video, and I've been thinking about how to do this live cooking, but it's a very simple dish, but then there are some dishes that are simple, but it just takes time to cook, right? And I don't want to hold you there for 2 hours waiting for the soup to be ready, right? So I decided to stick with the life spirit, so I'm not gonna do much editing. I will just cut off the wait time so you guys can hurry up and get to the end and know exactly what to do to make this super yummy hearty soup. Okay, first of all, to stick with the life spirit, so we want to save time. So I already started blanching my oxtail, okay? I'm gonna do about 6 medium to big size oxtail, and I'm gonna blanch it. How do you blanch it? You put them in, put a pot of water. You can start with cold water and just put your oxtail in there. And with medium-high heat, you wanna boil it. And then you see these dirty stuff that's floating on top. This is what you want because you want to get these things out now. I don't know how you say in English, but we kind of saying like, pre-cleansing, cleaning the oxtail. So these things come out now. So when you're when you're really cooking that soup, your soup looks beautiful. Okay, so now you can see it's boiling up. So that also, when it's hard boiling and you see these things, once it's boiling, maybe give it about 1 to 2 minutes. Just give it a good boil to get all these things out. And then, if you're as fancy as me and have a special assistant, you can call her in. Now. That's right. And then you said, hey, go and dump this water and use cold water, gently rinse all these oxtail before you cook it. And while the special assistant is doing that, I'm gonna start heating up this Dutch oven. Okay, I really love cooking this with this Dutch oven. It just brings out more flavor from the bone, if you know what I mean. So the whole soup is just, I can't even use a word to describe. But anyways, I think a lot of people have Dutch oven. Okay, but if you don't, it's no big deal. This is just giving you another level of hardiness. Yes. Okay, so while it's heating up, okay, look at our ingredients. Very simple: oxtail, onion, and tomatoes. Normally, I use the vine-ripe tomatoes, about 3 of them for 6 oxtail. But today I see these, it's called steak tomatoes. They're huge like this, and they're in season. They're super red and super yummy. So I gave it a try the other day. It was really good. So today I only use 1 huge steak tomato for this 6 oxtail. I chop these 2 first, and of course you see the carrots and the potatoes. These are gonna go in halfway through the whole cooking thing. So we're gonna cook these with the oxtail for about 1 to 1.5 hours, and then put these things in. I'm not gonna prepare, chop and peel and chop while I'm cooking it. Why? Because once you peel them, special assistant, lower the noise over there. Thank you. The water is too loud. Jeez, not professional. Anyways. Okay, so this is when you hire somebody for free, like you get to do this. Anyways, okay, go back to the cooking. Don't talk. Okay, once you peel them and you let them sit there for 1.5 hours, first of all, they get kind of dry, right, on the outside of the carrots. Then you don't want that. It doesn't look pretty. And also for potatoes, some of the potatoes turn like brownish, purplish, grayish. So to keep the whole color beautiful, everything looks beautiful, I do it right before I need to put them in. Then I peel them and chop them. Make sense? All right, so now this is heat up. So we're gonna put in about 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of oil. You do not need much. And again, stick with the live spirit. I forgot my stuff again. All right. Okay, once it's heating up, a lot of people make oxtail soup, but this one, I'm not bragging. It may look similar to most people's oxtail soup, but it does taste differently because everyone will be like, how come this one just tastes better? I don't know why. I really don't. But I just know that stick with every step that I am telling you right now, because my mom, even though she's a better cook, she's my teacher, right? She's the one that started me cooking and all that. And she has huge pride on her dish and stuff. But her oxtail soup is not as good as mine. Yeah, and it's not a secret. Everybody knows about it. That's why this is kind of my, proud dish to make to kind of, crush her. But anyways, yes. Not a good daughter, but anyways, sometimes the rival between mom and daughter, Well, anyways. Okay. So just do exactly what I say here, and I cannot explain why this makes this soup better. See, special assistant just disappear when she's done, Like, kind of amazing. Good. All right. Okay, we just put the onion in. Saute. Saute every ingredient except for the oxtail itself. Every ingredient you saute before you start cooking them, including the carrots and the potatoes later, okay? All right, so we saute. The benefit of using the Dutch oven is I don't need to start another wok or pot to saute. I can just saute in this pot. So that's a benefit. You're gonna chop it, chop. Okay. And it doesn't matter how big or small you chop these onions and tomato chunks. Eventually, they're all gonna break apart, right? Because you're gonna cook the soup in total for 3 hours. For this, like meat falling off the bone kind of texture. Okay. So while I'm sauteing, you don't need to saute till smooshy or anything. You just kind of, I don't know, you just kind of need it to go through this hot oil to bring out the fragrance, the flavor, to make it taste better. I really don't know why, but it really does taste better the way I do it. Okay, and then now tomatoes and this is another tip that most people don't do, and I do, and I don't know if this is why, that, what makes this dish a little better, is every step I season. I don't season in the end. I season every step at a time, okay? So for this, I'll put probably 2 teaspoons of salt in here. But of course, in the end, I'll season it all over again to make sure it tastes good. Okay. And people do say, like tomatoes, you have to let it go through the oil process to release a lot of the health benefit. So I guess this is the right way to do it anyways. Alright, so now this is probably good enough. You want to take a look, cameraman? Okay, this is good enough. Then I'm gonna put in the oxtail special assistant. Okay, the next tip is 2400 milliliters of water, okay? It's how much water I put in. My mom likes to add in a little water when I'm not paying attention. She'll be like, add it in. She thinks I need to add a little more water in there. And then when it's done, my whole family, including my husband, will be like, it tastes different today. And then I'll look at my mom. What did you do? I add a little water. I'm like, see, told you, stick with the recipe. Okay, so this is the 1,000 milliliter. So just after you put in 1,000 milliliter of water, you'll notice that if you use a red pot, it's gonna turn into gray pot. No, it's not true. It's just I'm like, oh shoot, that pot is not gonna fit 2,400 milliliter of water. So I just brag about how good I am, and I just right away slap on my own face. So you do your job. You make your own decision however you want to make it, okay? I'm just telling you how I make it. Anyways, another 1,000, and hopefully pot won't turn color again. All right, now another 400 milliliter. So basically what you want to do is really just kind of cover the whole thing, the oxtail, and then a little bit more. You don't want to be too much because you also are going to put in potatoes and carrots in a little later. When you put too much water in, it's not as concentrated as it's supposed to be. All right, now this tip is important. Changing pot is not important, but remember to use a big enough pot so you don't have to switch pots like I do. All right, anyways, everybody makes mistakes, right? Anyways, right now it's important. You want to season with probably 3-4 teaspoons of salt. I don't know why, again, I never know why, but they taste good. So just do it, okay? And cover it, set up your timer, bring to boil, and then turn the heat down. And set the timer for about 1.5 hours. 1 to 1.5 hours, depends on how much time you have. Of course, longer the better, right? And when it's about 1 hour to 1 hour 15 minutes, I'm gonna come back to start preparing the carrots and the potatoes, and then I'm gonna saute them, and of course season them too, and then put them back in. And then we're gonna keep cooking for another hour to another 1.5 hours. And then I'm gonna tell you the last tip to finish this soup, and it's gonna be so yummy. I'll see you in a bit. All right, it's been 1.5 hours, and take a look at the soup. You can see that the tomato is breaking down. And actually, let me take a little bit. Yeah, you already can taste the flavor of the soup now. So we just need another hour or so, or another 1.5 hours or so cooking time to break down the meat and get more of the beef flavor and all these goodness flavor in. And then last couple tips, and then we're done. All right. So what do I do? So see, I already chopped up the potatoes and carrots. Okay, I have to chop them bigger, chunk. And that so with this size of bigger chunk, and then you cook it in here for 1 to 1.5 hours. Is when they're perfectly cooked, but not falling apart into the soup, making the soup looks kind of messy. So this is why we don't put them in from the beginning, because while it will probably taste good, but then the soup will look like like everything's breaking apart. You don't have a big piece of everything when you're drinking or eating, right? So both ways are fine, but then I just like it because it's just prettier to the eyes and yummy to your tummy. So that's my philosophy. Anyways, okay, I'm heating up the wok. Probably another tablespoon of oil. Give it okay, now we're ready to put this in. Okay. Like I said, I saute, except for the oxtail, I saute everything before I put it. Lightly saute. You don't need to kind of cook it in the wok. It's just let it go through the hot oil, kind of release the fragrance a little bit before you put it in the soup, and it does make it taste better. Any scientific reason? Don't know. And again, I put about 1 teaspoon or so of salt in there. Why? I don't know. I don't know anything, but I do know how to make them taste good. Okay, so lightly saute, like so. Just make sure they're coated with a hot oil and evenly, and we're done. Okay, like this, you see? And with carrots, it's the same thing. You want it to go through this hot oil process to release the full health benefit. This part is scientifically proved. You just have to look it up online yourself, because I don't remember where I got it from, but I know it's proved. It's proved. All right. Now we just need to put them in to the whole, join the party here. And you see, because I peel them and chop them right before I need to use them, so the color, pretty, right? The color is pretty. All right, now we turn the heat up, bring to a boil. Oh, wait, another thing. See, I'm sticking it to the live spirit. Another thing, I'm gonna season it a little bit more, maybe a couple teaspoons, before I let it cook for another 1.5 hours after boil. I'm gonna turn it down and yeah, let it cook for another 1.5 hours. All right, I'll see you in 1.5 hours. See, we're really cooking this dish, this soup, with the live spirit, okay? We cooked from when there was daylight till now it's dark outside. So I really did cook this soup for 3 hours long now. Okay, so remember we saute everything before we put it in, and then every time we put in a little oil, so there will be oil floating on top of this soup, and that's where it gets this flavor too, because the beef itself is very oily too. So what I did is, this is an awesome thing. If you see it in a supermarket or any kitchenware place, get it. This is not just a strainer. This only strain will keep the oil on it, and then only the soup will drain out. Okay, this is awesome. See, I use this to drain out this much oil now. And of course, however much oil you want to keep in the pot, that's your choice. Okay, or you can skim it all out, so it's like 1%, right? 1% oxtail soup. All right, so I think this is about right. This is acceptable for me now. And look, this soup is creamy white, so you know that all the goodness is in there. Now, I know it's ready. I tasted it. Make adjustment, final adjustment to the saltiness, and oh my God. So I tasted this tomatoes. This tomato is amazing, honestly. This tomatoes and the sweetness coming from so tomatoes make this dish, even though it's hearty, but very refreshing. So you can drink it even in summer day. You won't think it's too much or too heavy because of the tomatoes. Just give you this refreshing taste. And the beef flavor so strong, and you get the sweetness from the onion and the carrots. Okay, so anyway, one more time. I'm making this for the kids, so I don't put pepper in there, but you can. Okay, one last thing I want to do is take this rice wine, bring the heat up, put in about, I will say, 1/4 cup. Okay, and then let it boil vigorously, okay, for about 1 to 2 minutes. So the alcohol evaporates, but the fragrance stays. And people will be like, what is that thing, you know, in there? What's the taste? It's this, okay? Bring out the last kick of the flavor. Okay, now, to not waste your time, I am going to start. Okay, I'll take one. Ooh, look at this oxtail. So beautiful. And see what I say about the carrots? A whole piece. They're not falling apart. And look at the potatoes too. Okay, they're not falling apart, but I'm gonna show you just how well cooked they are. Okay, now I'm gonna turn the heat off. All right, let's see. Okay, let's see. Look, the meat just falls, you know, off the bone easily, like this. Okay, the lighting. Honey, we're live, so you can't tell me what you want me to do. Okay, see? All right, I'm gonna take a bite because I'm hungry. Okay. So soft, so juicy, absorb all the goodness, so yummy. And look at, so good. And look at this. This is fully cooked. This is so soft. I can't wait for dinner. Here, look at this carrot. Also, well cooked, right? And this is so nutritious, hearty, and oops, and yummy. Okay. All right, I say this is perfection.